The interesting thing about pain is that I would do just about anything to get out of pain. Pain is one of those ways that the body tells a story. And I found that Western medicine, in terms of, take two tablets and feel better in the morning, that didn't jive with me.
Mhm.
One of the things that I tried is acupuncture. I
Hmm.
was curious about the role of acupuncture and to see what it can do in terms of my healing path. So, listen, this is Anne Marie, host of About This Life. About This Life is a podcast to capture those moments that transform us, those moments that change the trajectory, change the direction of our lives because of an event, an encounter, or a spiritual awakening. And I am so very pleased to have Banya Lim as my guest today. Hi, Banya.
Hi, Marie.
Yes, hello, hello, hello. And Banya, you are an acupuncturist, so you have to reveal some mysteries for our guest, as well as a multi-generational healer. And I want to explore what it means to be a healer, let alone multi-generational, because sometimes we have a lot of things going on spiritually, mentally, in our bodies. We are stressed out people, okay? So I want to open up with you. Why a healer? How did you become a healer?
Well, I think it kind of runs in my family, runs in our blood because I resisted you know, to become an acupuncturist. I grew up with acupuncture and, helping my mom since age of 6, 7 years old.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize that at the time, I didn't realize at the time, I was sort of like being an apprentice to her growing
Okay.
up. Uh-huh. And I think she was just secretly trying to teach me or what she knows. And first time I did acupuncture was when I was 7 years old on my mom. And because, there are some of the points in the body she couldn't reach, and so she told me to just do it. And she, I don't know why she has complete faith in me. Like, you know where the points are. There are 365 main acupuncture points in the body. Same
Okay.
same as numbers of a year in the year.
Not by coincidence, I'm sure.
No.
Before you continue, let's break down what acupuncture is. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it, and we have these visuals because we all think about the movies and the horror flicks we've seen with pins sticking out of us every which way. But why pins? What is acupuncture?
So just like nervous system, skeletal system,
Mhm.
lymphatic system, blood vessel, there is another system called meridian system in the body. These are like an invisible energy line that running through the body. And I'm sure you might have seen a picture of a man with all the lines and
Mhm.
points and so on. Only thing is that unlike skeletal system or blood vessel, it's invisible to the eyes. But recently, infrared light system, and I think it was discovered by, interesting enough, U.S. Air Force. They
Oh,
actually with a certain machine, and they actually took the picture of these lines running through the body, and later they found out that that actually matches exactly with the meridian system. Anyway, this was discovered about 5,000 years ago in Asia. Back then, I'm sure they didn't have any machines, any X-rays, anything, but they found this out through I believe through certain meditation and trial and errors, because
Mm-hmm.
you feel this, you know what? Based on what we feel in the body, based on what the emotion that we feel in our body, we feel this in the body every single moment. Have you?
Okay.
So this is why some of the sayings, things that we say, is actually come from us feeling that energy. You know, like when you're scared, you say you have a chill going down the spine, right? That's where the channels are right next to the spine, are bladder channels that's related to fear.
Okay.
So when you have a lot of fear, the channels in the back start to close off, but you feel like sensation is like some form of chill sensation. That's why we say those things. And we say, I have a I have a gut feeling about things. So that's where the intuition's coming.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that we say alone is really come from we feeling the body based on the emotion we are experiencing. And a lot
So
of
the meridians, Banya, excuse me for interrupting you. So the meridians are connected to our emotions, or our emotions manifest in our body along different meridians. I'm with you so far. Okay, go ahead.
good, awesome. Especially when the emotions are heavy, it gets stuck in some of the channel because the energy have to move within the body like river. There's a lot of analogy and comparison to river to how energy flow. Many of the
Mm,
textbooks talking about, and it should be flowing like without stopping. But when there's certain emotion, heavy emotion that happens, since we are creatures of habit, when we tend to have a negative emotion, we keep having that again and again. Then we keep closing that channel again and again. When that blockages or channel goes long enough, it turns into aches and pains. And if it goes even longer than that, it turns into disease within the body. So
yes.
when skillful acupuncturists, when they find where those points are out of 365 points, they use needles, stick needles to unblock the channels.
And so how do you know where to stick the needles? Is it based on conversation with the client? You can say, like, my pain is here, or my pain is here, my pain is there. And that's how you know where to go.
So it's a combination of everything. Our diagnosis tool is based on, questions and what the patient's describing what they're going through.
Mhm.
And there are two other main diagnoses that we use. We check your pulse. So pulse taking is very different than Western medical way of doing it. There are quality of the pulse, and there are different locations related to different organs in the body. Like lungs are here, heart is here, spleen and stomach is here, and this is the
Mm,
kidneys and so on. And there's a certain quality to the pulse. There are actually a lot of like Chinese kung fu movies showing this acupuncture checking the pulse of the
mhm.
patient, and then they figure out which points to work on. And most of the like Asian countries, when they're depicting like ancient times, sometimes this acupuncturists show up and they start checking the pulse of the patient, and that's how they find out, and that's how I figure it out where the points are. And one other
Right.
way is checking your tongue. And tongue has different location to the body. It's like we are microcosm of the universe, but
Hmm.
each part of the body is as a microcosm, the whole body. It's a reflection of the body. So this is how reflexology works. Like hand is connected to the whole body. Foot is also has a reflection of the whole body. So through the foot, sometimes they do reflexology to help alleviate back pain, headache.
Right. So
Yes.
there's something you just said that's profound, and I know that you do interviews all the time and you talk all the time, but the notion that we are microcosms of the whole universe. So that means the universe lives inside of us. Oh my goodness, that is a powerful statement to make. Isn't it
Oh,
though?
and Mary, what you just said,
Yes.
what you just acknowledged, that's everything.
Yes.
That
That's
is
a
it.
mindset shift that like the universe is within me. And, that's connected to so many belief systems, whether that's self-love or taking care of your body and how you take care of the universe. But anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Let me come back, focus, because I do have a question for you. Sometimes the client informs you about where the pain is. However, and I tend to use myself in these as a guinea pig in these conversations. It is the healer that can say to the client, "This is your pain," or "This is the root of your pain." Do you have that ability as a healer as well? Because some healers can look and test and do do what they do, and they identify the pain that is news to the client.
Yes. I watched my mom practicing her medicine as a child.
Hmm.
For me, it was every day, it seemed like magic what she was doing. Um, she had so many people who coming to see her. Like she sometimes don't remember them especially when they come back after many years. But as soon as she put her finger on their pulse, she started remembering, oh, you came that year and
Oh.
and I remember you were wearing this clothes and that. So she started remembering through the pulse. That was one of the most amazing thing to observe. Although she might not remember what they look like, but she remembers their pulse and how she putting all together. Like when they come, let's say they come with very specific pain in
Mhm.
the body or issue in the body, she will gently tell them, this is also connected to your relationship with your wife.
Mm.
This is something that you have to work through. Please have a conversation with your wife. And as lyrical, like, what does it have to do anything with his pain in his shoulder? But by me practicing my medicine for last 30 years, I've I finally understood what she means by that, what she meant by that. Our body is very intricately connected to, like I say, emotion, but our thoughts and our
Mhm.
feeling and our environment. Oftentimes, I see my clients they keep coming back with the same symptoms, and I'm realizing that the reason is that they keep going back to their same lifestyle, same work environment, same relationships. Unless we look at the person as a whole being, mind, body, and soul, and just focusing on the physical part, it, we're looking at it in a very limited way.
Mhm.
So we have to be able to tap into all three aspects. And this is how our journey started to even doing the abundance coaching now, because everything's connected. Yep.
Right, right.
So in acupuncture is governed by two main theories. One is yin and yang. I'm sure you heard of this symbol with this
Yes.
line in the middle, one black
Hmm.
and one white. Basically, yin and yang is that everything that exists in the universe cannot exist without its opposite counterpart. Like left
Hmm.
side cannot exist without the right. Darkness cannot exist without the light. Up and down, man and woman, you
Hmm.
name it. That also applies to our body. So left side is more feminine energy, right side is more masculine energy. One of the
Okay.
things that I'm consistently experiencing with my clients, people when they usually come in with it, usually that the problem occurs one side of the body. If it's one side of the body is predominant with the issues that's going on, it could be the right shoulder, right back,
Mm-hmm.
right ankle. There's very clear distinct that there's yin and yang energies imbalance. Right side is very much connected to masculine energy and also connected to our first caretaker masculine person, usually our father.
Okay. Hey,
And
you
then
breaking down the generation.
and left side is feminine energy. It's connected to our maternal energy. And in the beginning, when I was a baby acupuncturist, I just simply just throw this in my to my clients. It is connected to your father's energy. You want to share with me your relationship with your father, and you don't.
Ah,
And every single time, if especially when it's a predominantly right or could be a predominantly left side, there's always something deeper, energetically happening with their connection with their mother or father.
mm, mm-mm. So you're getting into the business right now. So that is the link. And so how do you break it? Because we have the acupuncture and the needles are designed to open up the space and I love your analogy earlier when you say we are meant to flow like a river. So our bodies are rivers, and I love it because it's poetic. And I hear that often in poetry. How how do you break that energy system, especially if you're not aware, if you're not educated about the connection of the mind, body, spirit?
Mhm. You use the word awareness.
Mhm.
Awareness is everything, but that's what opens up everything. Having awareness having awareness to your mindset, having awareness in the body is the key to everything. But these two things are the ones that we haven't learned.
Mhm.
When we were a kid, if anything happens, no one told us like, what is your body is telling you? What do you
Right.
feel? What do you think that your inner what is your inner energies telling you? What is your intuition feels like? Those are the things that I feel that we can teach our children to cultivate and develop,
Mhm.
because ultimately we know our bodies better than our no one knows our bodies better than ourselves, because we live with this. There's little aches and tensions and constriction, tightness, all happens. It had all connected to how we feel about things and based on certain emotion. But we don't make this correlation because we haven't trained to do that way. But when you start being aware of your body, you start understanding the connection and you start making correlation. So
Yeah,
awareness.
but isn't it like you don't know what you don't know? Because just in our brief conversation, Banya, you've explained there's a relationship between our emotions, the meridians, the flow, um, and our organs, and where in the body and how the body is communicating with us.
Okay.
So if a person is coming for um, relief of whatever, of some physical, usually it's a physical pain, are you addressing their physical with acupuncture, or do you do it alongside something else to tap into the mental and the spiritual and emotional side of things?
Mhm. So beginning of my work was predominantly acupuncture. So when I start to making this connection between their lifestyle, their relationship, their thoughts, I just simply ask my clients about them and I start researching and correlation what's going on. And later on, I start doing visualization and meditation. Eventually that turned into somatic work. So it's
Yes.
like a guided meditation to tap into where the pain is or wherever the issues might be. And then we just go in to see where that's originated from, and we travel to that place, and body literally tell us what's going on, but also body tell us what we should do to alleviate that.
Okay. And so you introduced a new term. Tell us what somatic work is.
Somatic means a Latin body. I think there's a lot of psychology,
Mm-hmm.
especially coaching work, doing this work more so these days. But my work is really based on acupuncture meridian system, where somatic work in psychology is very much based on dormant memory that kind of store in the body and go
Yes.
in there and to release it or work through it through guided visualization mostly. My focus is similar, but my focus is releasing from the acupuncture meridians. Once you
Okay.
release and work through that memory and emotion related to that, the body just heal itself.
Oh, that sounds like a beautiful thing. Vanya, when women come to see you, what's the most common ailment or situation? What are they carrying when they come to see you?
A lot of digestive issue that I see, like a lot of gastrointestinal issues. Um, and if it's sometimes it's hormonal, um, but that's what I noticed,
Mm-hmm.
and also quite a disturbance in the sleep pattern. It doesn't happen all the time, but if there's a change in sleep, not falling asleep, not staying asleep, or waking up often,
Mm-hmm.
that's actually a very good clue in what's going on in your body that you have to look into. But eventually that will also start affecting your gastrointestinal system and creating some sensitivity in your digestion.
Okay. And make a connection to menopause for me. Because there's so many people. In terms of in my mother's generation, it was the sense that they didn't talk about menopause. But those of us who are a certain age, 40, 50, and over, we're just like, oh my goodness, what in the world is going on with my body? So, can you make a connection there for us?
Mm. That's a subject for me
Mhm.
right now because I'm going through it. As soon as I hit 55, that's everything they heard of, everything people are going through. I was going through it. Especially the sleep pattern. But then, I mean, the list of things
Yes.
women go through.
Yes.
So in ancient time, even back then, women went through menopause.
Hmm.
Back then, we didn't have hormones, we didn't have a doctors, especially in Asia. So acupuncture is the one that took care of these women who are going through menopause or
Hmm.
perimenopause. We see as a very clear imbalance in the yin and yang. Earlier, I told you about yin and yang has to be balanced.
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
When women go through menopause, they have what we call yin deficiency.
Hmm.
So there's too much of yang that's happening in the body. What I mean is that I told you the yang energy, I don't know if I said that, yang energy is more of a masculine energy.
Hmm.
Yin energy is more of a feminine energy.
Okay.
We are living in a world with too much of yang energy. Even women, especially in a working area, we feel like we have to use the yang energy, we have to use a lot of masculine energy without realizing that our yin energy, our feminine energy has so much power and strength. And I think people start realizing that
Right.
it's not a weakness, it's actually such it's a strength, but we haven't figured out to understand what that is. So it's about really cultivating the yin energy during this time is help going to balance the body. And as far as the temperature goes, yang energy is more hot energy and yin energy is more cool energy. This is why
Mm-hmm.
women go through hot flashes during the menopause. Just by, and also a lot of Chinese herbs is designed to support the yin energy. So the one that's escaping my mind in an English name, there is actually very good herbal formula can help with
Mm-hmm.
women going through this period because I myself are taking right now.
Right.
So a lot of acupuncture treatment is designed to support the yin part of the body. But as a woman, just psychologically, emotionally, knowing that this really nurturing this the feminine part is so crucial during that time.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, this is where women push themselves even harder. And
Yes. We push ourselves because there's something surrounding living in a survival mode constantly. And I imagine that's the young where you have to press through, not realizing my kitty cat is down here trying to get my attention, not realizing that there is strength in softness. There is strength in a quiet disposition that one can bring that can be equally as powerful
Mhm.
as the loudest person in the room. And that's a value shift or belief system, especially in this country, you know, when we do that. Um, have you ever had a patient you couldn't reach? And if so, what did that teach? What did that teach you? Have you been able to help everyone that comes to you?
I like to believe that I help everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
one particular person coming to my mind, it was definitely a difficult journey for both of us. And and he was coming to me with a very chronic headache.
Mm-hmm.
Even after a few sessions, I noticed that there is something else is happening aside from just the meridian being blocked, that I felt that he needed to go get a CAT scan and some kind of MRI and images.
Mm-hmm.
And he found a tumor in his brain. And I was thinking at the time, what would acupuncturists have done if it was 5,000 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Like then there was no such thing as a surgery and things like that. And I'm sure they would have continued to doing with that, working with the client with the acupuncture
Right.
and herbs. And there are some specific herbs that I wanted to give it to him, and he was
Mm-hmm.
open to it, but it was banned by FDA here, so I couldn't even bring it here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so one of the case, but I knew that something was happening, so I asked him to get images done. So we found out what was going on.
Okay. So what I'm hearing then is there is a balance or at times a coupling of Eastern and Western medicine. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah. So what you do as a healer does not replace um traditional Western medicine, but it is an alternative in terms of, okay, I don't have to take two pills in the morning or at night or something of that sort. I
Mm-hmm.
can have an acupuncture session. I can um, eat the proper foods and think about the herbs that are in the foods and so on and so forth. So there's an alternative to just taking medication or pharmaceutical drugs constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree that this is a lifestyle that one can adapt to?
Yeah,
Um,
I absolutely believe that everything we all have to work together. If it's
mhm,
anything, this time, Western medicine, Eastern medicine have to work together. I even actually started a clinic 20 years ago with the Western medicine doctor to
mhm,
create a clinic because I believe that there is area that we can complement one another. At the same time, one method is definitely more effective than the other one. If
right.
someone break their legs, I'm not going to tell them to come to me. I'm going to tell them to go. So
Okay.
one of the very um, powerful things that happen here with me is that I there are very specific acupuncture points when woman has breech baby. They actually
Mhm,
acupuncture point to turn the baby, and I've done that many times, and it's
mhm,
very very effective. Where Western medicine, it's very hard for them to actually do this procedure. But can
mhm.
you imagine with this just few acupuncture points, then babies start to turn? So I would say that's more effective to do it with acupuncture than using the allopathic medicine.
Absolutely, absolutely. So multi-generational because you learn it from your mom and you pass down. Who are you passing it down to?
Yeah, that's the one question my brothers ask me all the time. So it was like one person each generation. Our
Mm-hmm,
generation, I don't have any kids. But I
mm-hmm,
think I want to just share with as many people as I can, especially after my mom passed away 2 years ago.
mm-hmm.
It's part of the reason I'm doing podcasts, whatever wisdom, knowledge that I've learned from her, that I'm trying to share with the people so they can be able to implement it in daily life. It's a simple information as left side, right side is connected to feminine and masculine energy, and the pain on the back is connected to fear. Pain on the left side, the side of the body is connected to anger and things like that. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to share that with the people.
So I'm gonna go back to the beginning. Why did you try to resist it at first?
Um, I think I was just too young and
Mm-hmm,
just being rebellious, like that's not what I want to do. My mom did the same thing, but she actually went to school, went to college, she became a teacher, high school teacher.
mm-hmm,
Um, and then she started treating her students every day.
mm-hmm. I was saying that is a profession that yes.
And then when she come back from her work, people were lined up front of our door to get acupuncture from her. And it's like, all right, this is what I have to do.
This is the calling. This is the place for for women who are listening to About This Life podcast. What do you want them to walk away with? And equally for the men that are listening, because sometimes we process life a little differently from one another.
Mhm.
So if you are a woman or if you're a man, what do you want them to walk away with?
I believe people are awakening.
Mm-hmm.
I believe people are waking up very quickly these days. And I believe people know this already, but
Mm-hmm.
this is just a reminder. We have both yin and yang energy within us, both men and women. But for the longest time, we tend to value yang or masculine energy a lot, especially in a working environment. Like you do it, pushing it, you make it happen. I think people are really starting to realize how powerful yin or feminine energy is
Mm-hmm.
for men and women. So I want you to honor that energy within you. But especially men, that energy, that softness, that gentleness,
Mm-hmm.
being able to sit down and listen to your partner or your kids or your friends and being able to connect with that softness, it's not a weakness in a man. It's a power. It's a strength. And I want you to start seeing that and also start feeling that and expanding that more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautifully said. So I thank you for that. Vanya, how do people get in touch with you?
Just go to my website, www.banyalim.com. And for your audience, I'll give them free clarity session. They can just sign up for clarity session button. They can just hit that on my website.
Okay, absolutely. So I would like to thank you for bringing yet another perspective in terms of this. It feels like a quest. The quest to be pain free or the quest to get to a state of well-being where we can add some life to our years and be able to thrive. So I encourage our listeners to explore different pathways other than traditional Western, and to explore different ways that may be new and unique to you, because you may just find the healing that you were looking for. And who wouldn't want the whole universe in your body? Yeah, you had me at that. And a river flows through it. So thank you for being my guest today, Banya Lim. And I would like audience members, what if any of this resonates with you, please like, share, and come on back for the next episode. This is Anne Marie, host of About This Life podcast, where we are changing our lives one day at a time. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye.